You hit 7 figures and everyone applauds you as the boss babe success story. And why do you feel more trapped than ever than when you had your W-2 job making $50,000 a year? And I'm going to tell you the hard truth that most business and leadership coaches won't tell you. You don't own a business. You own a very, very high paying, stressful job. And if you stop working tomorrow, the money will stop too. So today we're going to break down the actual difference in being a business owner, the exhausted operator, and a founder, the sovereign leader building a true asset that you are meant to be. And if you are tired of being the bottleneck in your own empire, this video is your exit strategy. I'm going to give you 3 steps to getting there by the end of the video. So be sure you don't click off the video because you're going to miss it as we talk about them all the way to the end. So what is the difference in a business owner and a business founder? A business owner is focused on income. They're focused on cash flows. They operate in fight or flight mode. And honestly, their cortisol levels and adrenaline are running everything. So it is, I've got to hustle harder to get more, to finally get there, to do the thing. The problem with this though, is that cortisol, that adrenaline, your energy levels, they run out. And if you are constantly running your business on energy levels and your health alone, you are becoming or have become a slave to that very business that you once dreamed of. The key question an owner is always asking themselves is, how much should I produce today, right? You hustled your way here, but the problem is it's not going to get you to the next level. It's literally going to kill you. Your spirit, your soul, your hopes, your dreams, all in the process are going to shrivel up from what you once dreamed to be like the ideal situation that you wanted to be in is something that you're now dreading even getting out of bed and getting up and doing the thing with every day, right? And so the difference between being a business owner and a business founder is a founder is focused all the time on building something that is valuable and ready to sell, even if you don't. Because once you have that mindset of, I'm building this business for someone else, because in all reality, if you're going to leave a legacy, you are building your business for someone else, whether it's your child to inherit, whether it's investors to purchase, whether maybe you're going to do a share buyout with some of your employees one day, they're like dedicated and loyal. You are building something to outlast you, right? You don't want it to die with you. So focusing on the value that you're bringing, it causes you to operate in alignment with where you're going. So you're not just focused on, I'm not saying cash flows or profit and loss statements and all that are not important, but that is not what your sole focus needs to be on as a founder. The key question for a founder is, did the system work without me today? Are you able to wake up and think? Are you constantly hustling to the next thing? Because if you don't hustle and if you don't keep on going, it's going to end. And so do you need to be needed or do you need to be obsolete? Okay, that is the difference, the key question for you. So I'm going to say those one more time. Do you need to be needed? That is the business owner mindset, right? But do you need to be obsolete? It can go on without you. That is the founder. And it's just like an architect, right? You are an architect if you've created your own business, okay? So you started it with an idea, you had a vision, you implemented it step by step by step. But in the end, an architect is the same thing with a building. When they're building a building, they go step by step and they build it. And then what did they do? 3 years later, the architect is not coming in every day to make sure the building is still standing. Yet as business owners, we tend to think we still have to continue to jump right back in and jump right back in and jump right back in and solve problems over and over and over again. But there is a better way. And here is the part in the video where I want to tell you that you don't have to do it alone. So if you love what you're hearing in this video, you can click the link and set up a free one-on-one discovery call with me. There's no obligation, and we will dive into this together. Because the thing is for most people, they love watching free content, and we love our followers and the people that watch our videos and interact with us because it helps us know more about what it is that you want to hear. But we also know that having a little board of advisors in your pocket, having someone that you can lean on and depend on is huge and critical in your journey. And if I'm being honest with y'all, the reason that most owners get stuck is two things: ego and control. Because we as business owners become addicted to giving the answers. We think, okay, they're going to ask me, I'm going to solve it. They're going to ask me, I'm going to solve it. And you know why? Because it's constant, tiny little dopamine hits. Every time you do those little things, check, 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 check. There are things that are easy for you that don't require thought. They don't require processing. You get those done. You're like, I did it. I did it. I did it. The thing is as an owner, in order to truly be a founder that's building something like an architect to give to the world and the community around you, you have to focus on the bigger things and not just the small things. And to do that, you have to feel safe letting go some of that stuff in the middle. But so many owners panic when things get quiet. They think something's wrong. But a founder mindset, they start to cultivate the quiet and use that to really ruminate and reflect and choose the next best step for their business and their journey. And so there are three main steps to help us evolve from an owner to a founder. And I have been in both spots in my journey in business, in different businesses, right? And I'm going to tell you, when you get to that founder mindset, that position where you can feel safe letting go, these are the three things that I've seen happen over and over in business, in my businesses, in business with clients that I work with, and with all of successful leaders. And the first one is you've got to do the fire yourself audit. Okay, you have got to take an audit of what you are doing with your time and fire yourself from 80% of the task that another employee can do. Now, I know that sounds scary, but bear with me. You are a CEO, a business owner, a president, whatever you call yourself. Stop doing work that an hourly person can do. And here's why. It's not just about you. When you give someone else the autonomy and the authority and the responsibility to make decisions on your behalf, you are growing them and empowering them to become a leader. But you've got to figure out those 80% of the tasks that you're doing that you no longer have to do, okay? And then step two is you got to document the magic. All right. And so people talk about SOPs, which are standard operating procedures. And if you're like me, I'm like, I ain't got time to write all that stuff down. There are AI tools out there that can do it for you. But as an owner, you've got to get all the magic, all the good stuff out of your head and onto a document or a screen. And so before you invest in all of these fancy tools, I'm going to tell you the easiest way to do this, something I'm working through in one of my businesses right now, is taking like a Google document or a Word document and just starting to link in the documents that are important to your company. And then you can add a little narrative as you go. If you have a complex task, let's say you manage all the finances and do the weekly cash flow statements, you can use an AI tool like Scribe, and it will actually record every single thing that you're doing on the screen, and then it will write them for you. So there are so many great tools out there, but the number one thing is not the how, but it's the what. Getting the what out of your head so that it can be repeated by other people. So you've got to fire yourself first, you've got to document it, and thirdly, you've got to hire for autonomy, not instruction. So you've got to hire those employees that you can give them the vision, the what to do, and let them run and be successful and pour into them. Because having to micromanage someone is not only you doing the work for them, but it's also draining on like your soul and your spirit. And there's something beautiful that happens when you hire someone, you give them the autonomy to go do the thing, and then they do it better than you would have done it, or in a new and unique way, because they get to add their lens onto it. And you're like, oh yeah, that was really good. Like I never thought about it that way. That is where the magic happens. And that is how you get from being the mindset of a business owner versus a founder, because cortisol alone cannot carry you forever. And you can go research, you can look at the Huberman Lab, you can ask ChatGPT, what happens if I run on cortisol for long periods of time? And it is health, 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 sleep, health, cancer, disease. Those chemicals in your brain that continue to spike over time, over and over and over again, that leads to long-term poor health. And you don't want that, because the shift from owner to founder isn't just good business. It's about preserving yourself so that you can still give your best self to things outside of your business, to your hobbies, to your family, to your friends, to your fur babies, to your plants that you love, whatever it is, because your business, you built it, you were the architect to then gift it to the universe and let it continue to grow, not suck the life out of you in return. And if you are an owner that is stuck in this position, like, I feel you. I feel you. And it's not always easy to get out of it together or get out of it alone. But together, when you have someone on your team, whether it's me, another leadership coach, or someone in your organization that's helping you, or an accountability partner, it can make all the difference. So drop in the comments, let us know what it is your next step's going to be in transforming from a business owner into a founder, because you know what? We believe you can do it.